Welcome to the future.
Welcome to 1337, the future of a podcast of longevity. I'm Max, your host, and I'm exploring the science of living longer.
And I'm Sophia, diving into health hacks and ageless living tips. We're here to uncover the secrets to a vibrant, extended life.
You know, today we are diving deep into a conversation with futurist Peter Diamandis.
Oh yeah, Diamandis?
He's got some really interesting thoughts about how cutting-edge tech, like AI and even quantum computing, could radically extend our lifespans, and what that might mean for humanity as a whole.
Right, and before we get into the really futuristic stuff, Diamandis points out something important.
Okay.
It's not just about living longer,
right.
It's about living better. He makes a distinction between lifespan and health span.
I like that.
And it's a distinction you should care about too.
Okay, so lifespan is pretty straightforward, right? It's just the total number of years you live. But health span,
right,
that's about how many of those years you're actually enjoying.
Yes.
How long you're living with energy, vitality, and the ability to do the things you love.
Exactly. Imagine living to 120 but feeling like you're 30. That's the kind of future Diamandis is talking about. And he believes that a health span revolution is actually closer than we think.
Closer than we think, huh?
Yes.
Wow. He even suggests that true immortality might require uploading our consciousness to a digital world.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But for now, let's focus on what's happening in the realm of AI and longevity.
So Diamandis founded a company called Fountain Life, and they're doing some pretty amazing things with AI and full-body digital uploads.
Full-body digital upload. Now that sounds intense.
Right.
What exactly are they uploading?
Well, they're gathering a massive amount of data from each person, something like 150 gigabytes.
150 gigabytes.
This includes things like genetic information, detailed medical scans, and even lifestyle data. It's basically creating a digital twin of you.
Wow, 150 gigabytes. That's like downloading a whole library about your body. But what's the point of all that data?
That's where the AI comes in. It can sift through all this data, comparing individuals and identifying patterns related to longevity and health span.
Okay.
And get this, it can then give you personalized recommendations based on your unique genetic makeup and goals. It could tell you exactly which supplements, medications, or lifestyle changes would be most beneficial for you.
So it's like having a custom-tailored health plan designed by an AI that knows your body better than you do.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But how does AI actually figure out how to extend our health span?
One of the things Diamandis dives into is the role of the epigenome. Think of it like a control system that decides which genes are turned on or off in your body.
Okay.
He believes that as we age, errors in the system are a key factor in age-related decline.
So it's not just our genes themselves, but how those genes are being expressed
that
determines how we age. That's fascinating. But what does that have to do with AI?
Well, imagine if AI could predict and even manipulate the epigenome. We could potentially turn back the clock on cellular aging and rejuvenate our bodies. This is actually already being tested on mice and primates with some really promising results.
So we might be closer than we think to age reversal therapies for humans. Now, that would truly revolutionize how we think about aging.
Absolutely. But the innovation doesn't stop there. Diamandis believes that quantum computing will also play a huge role in our quest for longer, healthier lives.
Now, quantum computing is still pretty early stage, right? I've heard about it, but I don't really understand what it is.
Think of it as a supercomputer on steroids. It can process information at an incredible speed, making it possible to model complex biological processes in a way that was never possible before.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. So, if we can model these processes, what does that mean for us?
It could revolutionize personalized medicine. Imagine drugs designed specifically for your body, clinical trials conducted in simulations, and a future where medication works for a much higher percentage of the population.
It would be amazing to move away from that one-size-fits-all approach to healthcare and get truly individualized treatment.
Right. But Diamandis' vision for AI goes even beyond healthcare. He sees it being used to combat things like disinformation and even facilitate communication between different species.
Hold on. Talking to animals.
Yeah.
Now that sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It might seem that way,
Yeah.
but think about it. What if we could develop an algorithm that could instantly tell if a news article is real or fake?
Oh, wow.
Or imagine being able to understand the complex communication of whales and dolphins.
Wow, that would be incredible.
Right.
But as exciting as all this sounds, aren't there potential risks to developing such powerful AI?
Of course, Diamandis acknowledges those concerns too. In fact, he believes that AI could lead to some serious problems in the near term.
Okay, so what are some of the dangers he sees with AI?
Well, he's worried about things like deepfakes being used for political manipulation, social unrest caused by job displacement, and even the possibility of AI triggering global conflict.
So he's saying that AI could actually make the world a more dangerous place before it makes it better.
He's not saying it's inevitable, but it's a possibility we need to consider. He even paints a pretty chilling scenario where AI could lead to a period of intense global turmoil before we eventually reach a more peaceful and abundant future.
So it's like we might have to go through a really dark period before we reach the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
It is. But Diamandis also emphasizes that we have the power to shape how this all unfolds. We need to be proactive, thoughtful, and focus on developing AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
That's a good point. So what are some of the things we can do to prepare ourselves for this future with AI?
Well, Diamandis talks a lot about the importance of cultivating a longevity mindset. It's all about embracing lifelong learning, focusing on your health and vitality, and believing that the future holds incredible possibilities worth sticking around for.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
If we're convinced that amazing breakthroughs are coming, in the next decade or so, breakthroughs that could add years to our healthy lifespans.
Yeah.
We're more likely to make choices today that support those goals.
Absolutely. It's not just about wanting to live longer. It's about taking practical steps to ensure those extra years are filled with vitality and purpose.
So what are some of those practical steps Diamandis recommends?
Well, in his book, Longevity, Your Practical Playbook, he offers a lot of advice, including tips on diet, exercise, and cultivating a positive mindset.
Sure.
But he also emphasizes the importance of finding purpose, which might become even more challenging in a world where AI can potentially do so many of the jobs we do today.
Yeah, it's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? AI could free us from boring or repetitive work, but it could also leave some people feeling lost and directionless.
That's a real concern. But Diamandis believes AI could actually help us discover new forms of purpose, perhaps even tap into our creative potential in ways we haven't thought of yet.
So instead of replacing human ingenuity, AI could become a tool for amplifying it.
That's the optimistic view. But even Diamandis admits that the transition to a world where AI is everywhere won't be easy.
Right.
He's especially concerned about the potential for social unrest and political instability as people struggle to adapt to all this rapid change.
Yeah, he specifically mentioned the 2024 U.S. presidential election as a potential turning point.
Oh, yeah.
With all the deepfakes and other AI-powered misinformation flying around,
Right.
It's getting harder and harder to separate truth from fiction.
And that loss of trust in information is a huge problem. It creates fertile ground for division manipulation and even violence.
Yeah, Diamandis even suggested that a civil war in the U.S. is a real possibility.
Wow.
Some analysts even put the odds as high as 40%.
That's a scary thought.
It is a sobering thought, but it really highlights the importance of developing strong critical thinking skills.
Yes.
Understanding how the media works and learning to recognize trustworthy sources.
Absolutely.
These skills are going to be absolutely essential for navigating the complex information landscape of the future.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that Diamandis sees AI being used for things like creating personalized content.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about what he means by that?
Well, imagine a world where anyone can create their own personalized books, movies, even entire virtual worlds tailored to their specific interests.
So instead of a few blockbuster movies that everyone watches and talks about, we'd have millions of niche creations.
Yeah.
Each one catering to a tiny specific audience.
Exactly.
It sounds like the ultimate form of self-expression, but could we lose that sense of shared experience and cultural connection?
It's a definite trade-off. On one hand, you have limitless creative possibilities and the ability to connect with people who share your very specific interests. But on the other hand, we might risk losing that sense of collective identity and the shared cultural experiences that have historically brought us together.
What about entrepreneurship? Will it still be possible to create a product or service that appeals to a mass audience? Or will businesses need to become hyper-specialized to find their niche?
It's likely we'll see a shift towards smaller, more agile companies catering to specific needs.
Okay.
Instead of aiming to reach billions of people, entrepreneurs might focus on creating something incredibly valuable for a smaller, more dedicated group of true fans. An idea popularized by Kevin Kelly.
That makes sense. But it doesn't mean big, ambitious goals will disappear.
Right.
Diamandis still believes in the power of what he calls moonshots.
Yes.
Those audacious goals that push us beyond what we think is possible.
You're right. He seems to think we'll be tackling even bigger challenges, maybe even establishing settlements on Mars or exploring deep space.
Speaking of space, he also mentioned the Fermi paradox. The mystery of why we haven't encountered any evidence of extraterrestrial life despite the vastness of the universe.
Right.
Diamandis suggested that the answer might lie in the fact that advanced civilizations eventually turn inward.
Okay.
Creating immersive virtual worlds that are more appealing than anything physical reality can offer.
It's definitely a mind-blowing idea if we can create simulated realities that are indistinguishable from real life. Why bother with the cold, harsh void of space? We can have anything we desire without the limitations of physics or the dangers of exploration.
But wouldn't that feel a bit, empty?
Yeah.
Like we're giving up on the real world in favor of a manufactured paradise.
Maybe, but it's also possible that those virtual worlds could become so complex and sophisticated that they offer experiences we can't even imagine right now.
Okay.
Think about exploring alternate universes, interacting with historical figures, even pushing the boundaries of consciousness itself. It could be a whole new level of existence.
It's a fascinating, albeit slightly unsettling concept.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a theme that seems to run through a lot of Diamandis' thinking, that technology, while potentially risky, has the power to unlock possibilities we can barely conceive of right now.
He truly believes we're on the brink of a period of radical transformation driven by the convergence of AI, quantum computing, and other rapidly developing technologies.
He's realistic about the bumps we might encounter along the way.
Right.
He's talked about the potential for social unrest, political manipulation, even AI-triggered conflict. It sounds like a bit of a roller coaster ride.
It does. But ultimately, he believes that humanity is resilient and creative enough to navigate these challenges and emerge stronger on the other side.
So we're talking about a future that's going to be both exhilarating and terrifying, full of opportunity and risk.
That brings us to a crucial question. How can we prepare for this future? What skills and mindsets will be essential for not just surviving, but thriving in this rapidly evolving world?
Yeah, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do we equip ourselves for a future that's unlike anything we've ever experienced?
Well, Diamandis believes that cultivating a longevity mindset is key. It's about embracing the idea of lifelong learning, prioritizing your health and vitality, and believing that the future holds, exciting possibilities worth sticking around for.
I really like that. If you believe that incredible breakthroughs are on the horizon, breakthroughs that could significantly extend your healthy lifespan, you're probably more motivated to make healthy choices today, right?
Exactly. It's not just about wishing for a longer life. It's about taking concrete steps to make sure those extra years are filled with vitality and purpose.
So, beyond the longevity mindset, what are some specific things Diamandis recommends we do to prepare?
He offers a lot of practical tips in his book, Longevity, your practical playbook, like focusing on a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, and developing a positive mindset. But he also emphasizes the importance of finding purpose, which could become even more challenging in a world where AI might be capable of handling many of the tasks we do today.
It's an interesting challenge, isn't it? On the one hand, AI could free us from a lot of tedious work. But on the other hand, it could also lead to a sense of aimlessness or lack of direction, especially for people who find their identity tied to their job.
It's definitely something to think about, but Diamandis seems to believe that AI could actually help us uncover new and perhaps even more fulfilling forms of purpose. It might even help us tap into creative potential we didn't know we had.
So instead of viewing AI as a threat to human ingenuity, we could see it as a tool for unlocking and amplifying our creativity.
Exactly. But even with that optimistic outlook, Diamandis acknowledges that the transition to an AI-driven world is going to be disruptive. He's particularly concerned about the potential for social unrest and political instability as people grapple with the rapid pace of change and the uncertainty that comes with it.
He specifically pointed to the 2024 U.S. presidential election as a potential flashpoint. With the rise of deepfakes and AI-generated misinformation, it's becoming increasingly difficult to distinguish truth from falsehood.
And that erosion of trust in information is a dangerous trend. It creates the perfect breeding ground for division, manipulation, and even violence.
It's a bit unsettling to think about, but it definitely underscores the importance of critical thinking skills and being able to discern credible sources of information from those that are spreading propaganda.
Absolutely. Those skills are going to be more essential than ever in navigating the increasingly complex information landscape of the future.
So while Diamandis is ultimately hopeful about the long-term potential of AI and other emerging technologies, he's also realistic about the challenges we're likely to face along the way. It sounds like we need to be prepared for a wild ride.
That's a great way to put it. A wild ride indeed. It's going to be a future that demands our attention, our critical thinking, and our willingness to adapt to a rapidly changing world.
He closed his talk with a powerful message, encouraging us to embrace the spirit of moonshot thinking, to dare to envision a world significantly better than the one we live in today, and to actively participate in shaping that future.
It's a call to action that I find incredibly inspiring. We live in a time of unprecedented technological advancement, and the decisions we make today will have a profound impact on the decades to come.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the ideas of Peter Diamandis, we encourage you to think about your own vision for the future. What kind of world do you want to create? What role will you play in shaping that world? And what steps can you take today to prepare for the extraordinary possibilities that lie ahead?
If you'd like to learn more about Diamandis' work and his vision for the future of longevity and technology, be sure to check out his books and talks. We'll include links to some of those resources on our website.
And for more deep dive into the fascinating world of longevity and well-being, visit us at 1337podcast.com. Thanks for joining us on this episode. See you next time.
Strength and honor. I am Spartacus.
Thanks for watching. Tap into 1337podcast.com.